years ago, Koreans described Cambodia with words like cheap, beautiful, easy to live. Now Cambodia makes many Koreans use themselves, not because of the heat, not because of the nose, but because of crime. In the eyes of Koreans now, Cambodia is no longer a tourist destination but a place where one can disappear without a trace. A one-way trip with no return. That's fraud hell or kidnapping paradise to talk about Cambodia. Cambodia and Korea had a relationship that wasn't overly close but quite friendly before. Tens of thousands of Koreans lived and worked in Cambodia. Many Korean businesses invested in real estate, education, and hotels in Cambodia. And each year about 300,000 Korean tourists visit. Korea provides Cambodia with many development projects for rural areas, education, infrastructure, and technology. Cambodia also is very friendly to entrepreneurs, allowing them to lease land long-term in a Even in many places, Cambodians learn Korean to work in restaurants, hotels, or to export labor back to Korea. However, recently, the number of Koreans missing in Cambodia is truly an alarming figure. If in 2022, there were less than 20 cases of Koreans missing or kidnapped in Cambodia, by 2024, that number increased to over 220 cases. And in just the first 8 months of 2025, the number has exceeded 330 cases. Meaning almost every day, more than one Korean disappears in Cambodia. The three most frightening places in the eyes of Koreans are listed as Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia, Sihanoukville, the famous coastal city, and Boko. These were originally famous tourist areas, but now people joke that going to Boko might be not returning anymore. So why do Koreans have to travel all the way to Cambodia only to suffer such circumstances? That's red-hot real estate. Phnom Penh was cheap like a dream, a luxury apartment costing only 1/5 of Korea. With vast land, cheap labor costs, and gentle people, many Korean entrepreneurs flock there. Some opened resorts in Sihanoukville, others invested in hotels in Boko, others opened barbecue restaurants, Korean cafes. Then opened schools, language centers, even Protestant churches sprouted everywhere. Cambodia was then seen as a startup paradise for Koreans. Anyone tired of the fierce competition in Seoul just needed to go to Phnom Penh to start over from scratch. But then COVID-19 hit, tourism collapsed, investments stalled. Many Koreans doing business in Cambodia started suffering heavily. After the pandemic, a different wave of Koreans appeared, not entrepreneurs, but now they come as unemployed youth. In Korea, housing prices rise, jobs are scarce, young people are tired of a situation where hard work isn't. High-paying jobs in Southeast Asia offer thousands of dollars a month, free flights, accommodation, and meals. So quickly many Korean youth, believing in the dream of international employment, flew to Cambodia. But they didn't know that plane ticket was just a one-way ticket to hell. Setting foot in Phnom Penh or Sihanoukville, they were taken to luxurious buildings with security gates, air conditioning, private rooms. But immediately after entering, their passports were confiscated, phones were controlled, and a few days later, they discovered their job was fraud. Those technology companies were actually fraud centers, specializing in organizing online money scams, pretending to be bank staff, pretending to be lovers, pretending to be investment agents. They were forced to work at high intensity, texting, calling, luring others to invest in virtual money, participate in gambling, or romance. So occasionally when you receive a Korean call, it might be a real Korean, not someone pretending to be Korean. If they don't work, they get beaten. If they want to quit, they have to pay ransom. The average ransom, those without money get sold to other groups, some disappear forever. One incident that shocked all of Korea and created a wave was the case of a 22-year-old Korean student. He was tricked into going to Cambodia to work, then kidnapped and held for ransom. His family received ransom messages, but weeks later, Cambodian police found him dead and tortured. The case caused outrage in Korea, with media, television, and social media all to the extent that the Korean president had to order full force to protect citizens from crime in Cambodia. But more frightening is that part of these criminal rings actually involve Koreans themselves. If you recruit more people to come, So some returned to Korea, recruited new recruits, and went back to Cambodia, becoming managers of the very fraud centers that once imprisoned them. From victims turning into criminals, a vicious cycle like that. That's why Korean police can They had to go there to coordinate with Cambodian authorities and international police, because sometimes no one knows who the real victim is anymore. Returning to the Korean president's statement on October 11, 2025. He did something unprecedented, ordering full force to protect Koreans in Cambodia. He said directly in a government meeting that all diplomatic resources must be used to rescue citizens from criminals. Whoever harms Koreans anywhere must be arrested and punished. That statement immediately appeared on the front pages of major news. This is a warning to all criminal gangs operating in Cambodia that South Korea will no longer stand idle. The reason is very clear. In just a few years, hundreds of Korean citizens tortured or forced to work in sand compounds in Phnom Penh, Sihanouk, and Loko. Immediately following directives, the Korean government began to establish a special police unit in Cambodia named Korean F, temporarily understood as the Korean Police Division in Cambodia. This is not like making phone calls for support. This time Korean police will work directly in Phnom Penh, jointly investigating and solving cases with Cambodian police, like placing a Korean police station right on Cambodian soil. In fact, this idea has existed for several years, but there were many obstacles. The Cambodian side was concerned about political reactions, because allowing foreign is very rare, while Korea did not dare to act strongly, fearing it would affect the. After hundreds of kidnappings, continuous cries for help, and particularly the murder of a student, all forced Seoul to activate emergency mode. Immediately, Korean DEP had its headquarters located right within the office of the Cambodian National Police in Phnom. This group consists of about 6 Korean officers, all of whom have worked in international investigation units, including digital investigation experts, those responsible for data tracing, and citizen rescue specialists. Simply put, they will go on site with Cambodia, raiding sand compounds, pursuing criminals, rescuing detainees, and reporting directly to Seoul. The difference with Korean DEP is they don't just observe or support, but also have the authority to investigate simultaneously with Cambodia, meaning they work in true coordination, not just observing from the outside. For example, if a Korean is kidnapped in Seoul, instead of waiting for diplomatic notes, now Korean police can accompany Cambodian police, search for the person, collect, trace phones, determine GPS locations immediately. All to the Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs in real time, much faster than the old method. But many Koreans fear that waiting will be too late, so there is currently a wave of people leaving Cambodia. Those who used to live or travel here are now returning home early. Korean restaurants in Phnom Penh are losing customers. Travel companies are having contracts canceled. Korean businessmen dare not sign edition. On Korean social media, people are spreading posts like warnings about routes or being careful about scams, unsafe. Cambodia's image in Korean eyes collapsed in just. Many people have gone missing and many have been rescued since the beginning of 2025. Over 300 Koreans have been rescued and repatriated, with the number of missing remains very high, not only affecting tourism, but even Cambodians living in South Korea are viewed with suspicious eyes. Once trust is lost, it's very difficult to regain. And we return to the old question: why has crime exploded in Cambodia? The question is, why has Cambodia become a paradise for sand gangs? First, Cambodia's geography is very special, located between Thailand, with easily traversable borders and lax laws. Many areas like Sihanouk were special zones. After COVID, tourism declined. Numerous buildings were abandoned, and that's where criminals hide. Second, Cambodia's economy is still weak, so control over foreign investment. Many criminal groups from China, Myanmar, Thailand flock here to set up shop. On paper they're trading companies or customer service centers, but inside are detention camps and online sand centers. Tuesday, Cambodia lacks resources. Therefore, gangs operate freely until an incident occurs. The media reports and they move elsewhere, like a swarm of bees. Chased from one place, they fly to another. Cambodia today remains a beautiful and peaceful country, with its golden pagodas and the legendary Angkor Wat. But hidden behind that appearance is the covert war of criminal gangs. And when a country like South Korea, known for safety and discipline, abandons the plan to send police all the way to Phnom Penh to rescue its citizens, it's clear this is no longer an issue for an ordinary country. It's a wake-up call for the entire Southeast Asian region about how easily trust can be lost. Thank you for following this story. If you found it interesting, please subscribe to the Hidden Ledger channel, turn on notifications. Now, please don't say goodbye. Explore new things. Don't hesitate, leave your feedback. And let's pause here for now.